All right, y'all. This is Corisa Davis, LICSW, and she's going to tell us about her ASWB experience.
Hello. So I originally graduated from the University of Alabama in 2020. I didn't sit for my LMSW to 21, and I didn't start clinical supervision until 2023. So I, s- which is about 3 years where most people jump in. I wanted to take my time, find a supervisor that I felt like would help shape and mold me. And I ended up running into Mrs. Renita on the Black Girls in Social Work page. And I wrote her, and the rest is history. So in 23, I started off. 2024, my biological mom passed. Um, and that was a journey. Then this year in August, I finished clinical supervision. And then in the end of September, my other mom passed. And I always knew that originally I wanted to have my test completed by my 30th birthday, which was in September. But a few months just derailed it, which is fine. So after October, I really started studying. I used the same materials I used for my LMSW, which was YouTube and Pocket Prep. I didn't buy any courses or anything. I know other people do, which you just have to figure out what works for you. If you know something worked well for your LMSW, I would say follow that same formula. So for me on YouTube, I looked at RayTube, which is a black male social worker. He gives a lot of hints of how to break down questions, and little analogies, I guess you can say. Savvy Social Worker is another black woman social worker that goes through test questions, also shows how to break those down. I like her first, next, and best questions because those are primarily what's on the test. I guess up until like March, I know they're supposed to be changing the test sometime soon, but a lot of it was application questions. And then the LCSW Vibes is another Black social worker, and she gave like I looked at her for like buzzwords because those are big things on the test and how to break them down. Um, Pocket Prep helped a lot in the way of like just learning how I'm answering versus what the ASWB or NASW wants you to answer. Because of course we all have different practices than what the standard tells us to do. Um, One thing I was told, and it's like going there and answer like a white man that just made the rules. Like, don't add in any of our stuff or any of our quirks that we do to help ourselves in the test or like in real life scenarios. Just like straight to the book, cut and dry. Um, One analogy I did learn was eat pie, and it's the steps through the helping process. So E was engage, A was assess, T and P were treatment planning, I was intervention, and E was engaged. So I wrote that down the first thing when I got in there just to remember the steps because a lot of the questions that were next, if you knew like the helping process, you would know pretty much the answer or at least eliminate one or two of the answer choices. What else did I do? Oh, for my LM and my LC, like when we go in there and get the paper, the first thing I wrote down is Corisa Davis, LMSW. And for this one, I wrote down Corisa Davis, LICSW. Just to go ahead and put it out there. If you pray, pray. I didn't study too much the day before. I actually went out with my friends. I wouldn't advise it, but if you can, do that. But like really just hammer down, even if you only have like 2 hours on the weekend, it's still achievable if you do something like this. If you're able to have your phone at work, um, or even get into your email, I would go on Pocket Prep and answer like 5 question quizzes, like just every now and then if I had some downtime. Like it doesn't have to be like a long drawn out study session if it doesn't work for you. Um, I didn't go back and look at questions on my quiz. I'm not one of the ones that changed answers. Even in school, if I ain't know it, I ain't know it. I go up there and turn in a zero before I go back there and waste my time on something I knew I didn't know. So those were the basic things I did. Um, what I did notice is sometimes between me and my friends, we've talked about our experiences. There's usually some kind of theme in the test. So if you start thinking about like a lot of mine revolved around like child abuse and domestic violence. So if you get in that headspace, that's good. I only had one or two questions that were diagnoses, no medication questions, which kind of made me mad because that's my real strong suit, but hey, whatever. Um, so yeah. I think I don't know how long ago people have taken the LMSW. It was kind of different for me this time because it stops you halfway through and makes you take a break, which I think during the LM it was just a straight through. So it's changed in that way. And that's all I can think of unless y'all have questions that help me.
First of all, I want to say congratulations
Thank you.
and I wish you well on your future endeavors. Okay, so when you said they do a cutoff, what question number is it when they cut you off?
What's a half of 170? 85?
Okay,
So 1 through 85, you do those and you once you hit next you can't go back at all anymore. So that 1 through 85, so like know that you have to answer those. It's not like you can do 1 through 70 like you used to and then go back. And they give you 2 hours for each half. So yeah.
okay, thank you.
What did I do during my break? I just went to the restroom and came right back. Um, I don't, I don't know. I'm somebody, I just have to get through it. Like the test was 4 hours. I finished in like an hour and a half just because my nerves get bad. Like, so I like what I do is do. Oh, one thing I would suggest for real, is do the ASWB practice quiz. I know it's $85 we don't want to spend, but I feel like that's a really good indicator of how well you'll do on the test. And you at least know what the test is going to look like because it's not like the LMSW at all in my eyes, but it's still kind of the same format, if that makes sense.
I had a question.
Hmm.
Congratulations, Carissa.
Thank you, Krista.
My question is, how did you know like what to study in terms of because I've looked at like, my mind works on it's like I need a little bit more structure. So that's why like grade two, but it feels like it's a bit chaotic to me. But
Hmm.
as far as like when you sat down and said, I'm going to start studying,
Hmm.
what am I going to study? And on your study days, did you have like certain like subjects that you said, okay, I'm going to study this, I'm going to do this? How did you decide to organize everything?
Um, So I would do mine alongside like pocket prep. So if I did my pocket prep questions and I realized I was weak in one area, that's what I would go look at. Like clinical interventions. Like for example, I can know what to do, but I don't know like the names for some of the modalities and like those super heavy definitions. So that's what I would do. And then it would kind of just take me into a flow of other things in that realm that I needed to know. Um, so that's what I did personally. RayTube, like even though it's chaotic, I would like look and see not necessarily his questions, but like how I think the savvy social worker probably would work better for you as far as answering questions. Um, and like things just being more structured because I understand what you're saying with RayTube. Um, so that's what I did. I did mine based on like pocket prep.
Thank you, Carissa. That helps.
No problem.
Hi, gorgeous. Number one, congratulations.
Hey girl, I didn't even see you come in.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Well, question. Did you do the ASBW practice test?
Mhm.
Did it give you a breakdown of what was right, what was wrong, strengths?
Yeah, well, it didn't give me like it doesn't look like the unofficial, but it goes question by question and tell you the rationale for why.
Oh, that might be worth it. Thank you.
Mhm. You're welcome. Oh, and I will say with savvy social worker, what I didn't realize is like it's 2 words that'll tell you what you're doing. So I think it's saying if you're meeting with the client for the first time, or it won't be first time, but I think meeting was like that's the first time you're getting with the client. And if it says seeing, that meant like you were already established. So it also helped you determine which phase of the helping process you were into. But I definitely would look at hers to see, because I thought that was a good example.
I have a question. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And well, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
How long did you study before taking the exam? And also, how close was the ASWB practice exam to the LC? Was it 3 questions, I'm sorry. So
Okay.
that one, and then how similar was it? Because I know with the LMSW, it was similar to the ASWB exam. Was it the same with the LCSW?
hmm
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah. It was that one, and then I'm sorry, I'm so scared of brain. You said yes, they were similar. How far in advance? Uh, my situation, like I said, was a little different just because my mama passed. So I was kind of all over the place with funeral planning. But I'd say about like a month and a month and a half is a good amount of time to if you really dedicate yourself to it. And I forgot your third question, but
I don't forgot my question too. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
I asked how long you study. You answered that. And how similar was the because the LMSW exam was similar to me to the ASWB. So was it the same with the LCSW?
Yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. I actually did better on the practice exam than I did. Well, it don't matter, I passed. But yeah, it was really similar. A lot of mine were first, next, and then best and most, honestly. So a lot of application and steps in the helping process was the biggest thing.
Was it a lot of community questions on there?
Uh, to me, yeah. Simply because I know I don't work in community. So some of those were kind of like, what would I do? But I think if you know at least the helping process, you can at least kind of gather what you're gonna do. The best. It wasn't a lot of what is it? The research, like research, isn't like as heavy as it was on the LMSW. May have had 1 or 2 research questions. Oh, another thing I do, which may not be the best advice, but it works for me, is y'all know how we had like 20 throwout questions? I just pretend what I don't know is the throwout question to make myself feel better about it. And it works. So those are some things I do to just kind of help myself. Like if I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's clearly a throwout question because I know everything. They just trying to see, it just works in that way. To make, because once you don't know a question, you kind of get nervous about the next question. So that's what I do.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Corisa,
One,
go ahead.
you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. One, I like the perspective about the throwout questions. And were you saying savvy social worker or sassy? My ears wasn't working properly.
SABBY.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Corisa, you said that you couldn't, so once they gave you the break, you couldn't go back and see the other questions. So like at the end, did they allow you to like to review those questions, or it was just the ones that
Oh, like the second part, you can review what 86 through 170.
okay.
Those are the only ones you can review. Yeah.
So then, because the break thing is new to me completely. So then, I mean, not new. I've heard a couple of other girls say it, but hearing that question about the break, I'm curious. 1 through 85, no matter what time you're in, whether it's because you finish in an hour and a half, so that means maybe 45 minutes into the test, at question 85, you had to get up and take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Did you before you had the option to review. I know you didn't, but you would have had the option to review no matter the time period.
If I'm hearing it right, so 1 through 85, the review time was in that 2 hour block. So it's broke off in 2 hours and 2 hours.
Okay.
So it was broke up. So it's not like, oh, if I take 3 hours for this section, you can't take 3 hours for 1 through 85. You only have 2 hours. But you can review it. It's in that time frame. Then you get 10 minutes, and then the second one is the same half. The second half is the same way.
And I heard you say they make you take a break.
Well, they don't make it. You can skip over it, but I mean, you might as well since it's kind of like built in there and it doesn't take time away from the exam at all.
Did it throw you off at all? Like, were you aware that the break was happening?
It tells you, but I don't think I realized that I knew it was a break implemented into it. Like, because like I said, mine was back in 21, so I didn't
Mm-hmm.
remember it. So I was like, what the hell going on? So I mean, I used it because it was there and it didn't take anything away from me. But you can still get up even if you're in your test, your time, if you need to do something. But it's like 10 minutes that doesn't affect your time at all.
And my perhaps last question is, you're one of the first people, and I like that you are one of the first people who said that the LMSW, the LC for you was different than the LM, because it was different for me. But everybody else who's come through here is like, it was similar, it was similar. And so you're one of the first people I've heard say that it did feel different, because for me, the LM was a lot of recall,
Yeah.
and the LC was not as much recall. Like you said, maybe clinical application, which I want to hear more about that as well. Can you tell us in what ways you felt it was different?
Yeah, like a lot of the questions would be like human development or, for the LM and like those recall questions, but I guess because they know in some regard that you practice clinically, they're like, okay, why are we asking you something you should know? Like let's ask something that as a therapist or somebody that's working in a supervisory role, they need to know. So, I'm trying to think of some of the questions that kind of caught me up. Um, I can't think of questions off the top of my head, but it would be, and some of them would be so similar and like for the answer choices that it would like really trick you up. So it's really important to go back and like read the last part that because it'll ask you what it's looking for. And I'm like sitting here reading the answers, and I'm like, oh, I would do that. And then I have to go back and be like, that's not what they asked me, So really make sure you understand what they're looking for. And that's why I said some of those YouTube videos really tell you how to break down the question. I think that's the most important part. If you know how to break it down, in some way you can guess and rule out at least two of the answers on the 4 question ones, for answer choices. So I think learning how to break down the questions probably where most people struggle with. Like we know the information clearly, but like knowing how to answer the test or answer the questions is actually the most important part to me.
I have another question. I
Okay.
have a question about timing. So, like you said that, because I struck with that LM, I'm telling you, I think I was there. I was there the whole 4 hours long. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So because my nerves are bad. So my question is, how did you feel compared to the LM as far as timing? Do you think that since it was different, you took more time, or like how did you like mentally prepare yourself as you were taking it?
Uh,
You worried about time, or you just felt really prepared and you just kind of breezed through it?
uh, I took less time on this one than my LM. I I ain't got the nerves to sit there for 4 hours. Like my friend, she sat there for the 4 hours, but she's very calm and she's very type A. And me, I'm chaotic. I'm all over the place. I gotta be in and out because I ain't got time for all this. So I would say like just see how long I would if I was somebody that know I sit there for, most of the time, I'd probably give myself a time limit for each question. If I didn't know it after maybe a minute, let me skip over it, come back. That way I can save myself some time at the end for the ones I'm really struggling with versus sitting there and wasting like 2 minutes or 3 minutes on that one. When the next one I probably breeze through. That's what I would do. Flag it and come back. Because I still flag things that I didn't know, but I came back to those, but I didn't re-review like questions I like already had.
Okay, so you can go back
Yeah,
and
on one
okay,
per part. Yeah. So 1 through 85, you can go back, but once that time section is over, it's over.
okay, good.
Mhm. So I would just give myself a certain amount of time per question. And if I know I don't know it right then, I can come back. Because sometimes the answer is maybe in another question. Or you may see the word and you be like, oh yeah, that belongs over there. But I would say go in there and like knowing you would pass. Like, cause I have people they be like, oh, if I fail this time, ain't no oh if I fail. This is a $300 test. Ain't no failing. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm not even about to put that out there in the universe, you know. And if you know you've passed the elements W, you know you can pass this one. That's what I would say. Whatever you use to help you pass on that first one, stick to what you know. If that meant buying a course, buy the course. If that meant getting a tutor, get a tutor. My friend had a tutor. If y'all want her information, my friend liked her. I didn't need a tutor, or I didn't feel like I needed a tutor. I can send you the lady's information. Because she had study sessions. Just let me know. Yeah, I've heard TDC, like my friend now is doing Agents of Change. And she likes it. So I'm not against it, but you know, do what you know works for you.
So one thing, kudos to the manifestation. My spirit was doing dancing when you was speaking. I have a question. I don't know if you can actually answer it though. You might be able to. So, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did the knowing the helping process play a part in passing your test?
I think it played a really big part because of that first next one questions, you need to know what step you're on then. But you also need to know the buzzwords. That's why I said the LCSW vibes lady. She does a couple videos on buzzwords. So because it might not say engage, it may say mid or stuff like that, and it might say like intervention, it might say refer or something like that, right? Like you need to know those words that go along with the helping process. I think that was a big help for me too.
Who did you say to look for the buzzword?
LCSW vibes.
Vibes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Everything I said except for Pocket Prep is free and on YouTube, yeah. And Pocket Prep may have a free version. Hey, cheerleader. Yeah, Daddy. I'm on the call. Love you. But sorry, y'all. But yeah, I think Pocket Prep may have like free questions on there too. So if like you were trying to like be more financially, savvy with it, I think that's why I tried to stick to like the free stuff because I don't like spending no money. But that's just me.
I also asked, I put in the chat, but I can ask it here. What was the difference you would say between the LMSW and the one that you just currently took?
Really versus application versus recall was the biggest thing. Less research, more clinical questions than anything. Ethics questions, they still kind of ethics questions are gonna be ethics questions. I don't think there's no way to really change that one up too much. Human development, all the other stuff is still there, but it's more making sure your clinical skills and you're able to supervise and some program management stuff.
Corisa, you keep saying application questions. I think that's what do you feel like you have some more words about what do you mean by application questions?
Um, it may act sometimes like, for one, it could be like what modality may go best with this person that has this going on. So like knowing the different modalities, or at least usually what modalities are usually used for what diagnosis can be helpful. Like your main ones are gonna be like DBT, CBT, is some psychoanalytic questions. But DBT and CBT are you're gonna be main ones I saw something about. It may ask, let's see. I'm trying to think of one. Matter of fact, I got Pocket Prep right now. Hold on. Still see if I can get an example. Like for this one, it says like a social worker focuses on client conscious thinking process, motivation, and reasons for certain behaviors. The social worker is using which of the following types of therapy? So you're gonna need to know like you're gonna need to know your modalities. Like even if it's like very basic, who did I use for modalities? I think I did RayTube and Savvy Social Worker for modalities. Um, so just going back in, especially because I mean some of us aren't in like super heavy clinical work, so those are things we may forget. Like me in program management, you know, so I would just touch on the areas that maybe you don't work in as much, just for a refresher.
Since you took your LMSW in 2021, they were still just doing the four question options. This time they had the three. I'm curious what your experience was like to have that different modality.
don't I didn't see like the a super big difference. Because even with the three ones, I feel like it was still an incident that it was like, okay, I noticed, you don't belong regardless. So it's still gonna leave you with two somewhat that's similar. I didn't see a big difference. I know other people said it's a difference, and some people say it's easier, and some people say it's harder. So I really think it's gonna be dependent on that person.
Did you see? Well, I have two more questions I wrote down. The first one, I'll just ask one at a time. I like that you said there's a theme. You're starting to see a theme. And then you said if you start to see a theme, and your theme, it sounds like, was child abuse and domestic violence. Like, can you give me more words about what you meant by seeing a theme and then having that, you said have that perspective?
So I noticed, like, first with my first friend that passed her LC, it was like a couple years back. She talked about like it was a theme to her test. And I'd be like, what was yours? And so for all my friends that have taken it over the last 2 to 3 years, it's always kind of revolving around whatever is going on in the world that's popular. So like right now, like with the Jeffrey Epstein, sexual abuse, child abuse, and stuff like that. Another of my friends, it was really heavy on feminism. So I also would kind of pay attention to what's going on in the world or what the NASW puts out. Might be something nice. And I mean it also puts you up to date on what's going on in the world. So it's a win-win. So just kind of seeing what's going on in the world might help you with the test too because immigration was a big one for one of my friends. So I think it's if you notice a theme, maybe try to think around like what's going on there and how the NASW may say we should treat it.
Carissa, no one has ever brought that point up at all, ever, in us doing these talks for the last 5 years. So that is such a great point. And I love that you're saying, and even go on to the NSW website and see what their statements are about certain things so that you can be on point. No one has ever brought that up. So wow, thank you for that. And then my second question I wrote down, I can't remember who was here last, but it was somebody recent who talked about supervision questions. And even when I do my supervision CEUs, they're not really giving me anything. the supervision CEs aren't even. And so, like, did you see any supervision questions? And if you did, do you remember, or how could you help us with those questions?
It would be like things I think most of the people in this group would be like, duh, that's the answer. That if somebody missed it, you'd be like, I don't know if you should be doing this. But like it would be like you're a supervisor for these individuals. They're struggling with um not under like cultural competency. What should you do? Should you take them off their caseload? Should you talk to them? Should you like tell them to act like it's somebody of their same culture? It'd be like stuff like that that like Miss Renita has really challenged us on. Like, no, you need to go look into this. You need to, expand your awareness. Like some of that would be like that. Like something that you or most of us would think would be something like very basic to answer that some people may not do well on. But those would be some of the things.
We all read between the lines on that one, Chris.
Okay.
I'm wondering, because one of the things I do say is, you have the DSM, whatever version we're in, have that on your desk, read it as much as you can. I know there's even smaller versions. We talk about, and I hate that you didn't have any medicine, but we talk about the pill book. Even if you don't have medicine on your test, you still need the pill book, y'all. Get the pill book because as a clinical social worker, you're going to need to know medicines and side effects. And the third thing we talk about is code of ethics. And I'm wondering, outside of what you were doing with YouTube and Pocket Prep and the ASWB exam, did you do anything with the NASW code of ethics?
No, not because I don't read it. It's because I get into it so much with my supervisors about what I can do at work that I go through the code of ethics every now and then. So I pretty much knew it because, we all have different professions. So what they can do over there in LPC land is not what I can do over here. So that's kind of, but I would say, read up on it, of course. Know your guidelines. What was it something that I just thought about that it did ask me? Oh, I was like really heavily focused on like our psych pills, and I forgot that it's a whole nother world of social work. So maybe read up, like just know your very basic like what is it like the endocrine system, like knowing that can affect depression and stuff like that, and always like the safest. Oh, sorry, again tangent. If you see anything about safety on that test, the safe, if your question has something about safety, just know, or I'm sorry, if the question pertains to safety, the answer is probably gonna be the one that has the word safety in it. I know that for a fact. Like if it has something about medical that ain't been touched on medically first, and they're like, oh, we should just do this, refer them to a doctor first. Those are the two things that like and which we should be doing in practice anyway. But those are two things like that's like your easiest giveaway. Like if your person coming there, they kind of slurred speech and this and that, just go and push them to the doctor. We're not doing any kind of biopsychosocial doctor. If you see the word doctor on it, just probably know that's gonna be the answer.
Thinking about stuff that I don't recall other people bringing up when they've come back to talk to us. Since you're doing such a good job of that, did you anything about suicidality?
Yeah. So like if they didn't say like it was an active plan or like they about to try to walk out, you can like the words is like further assess, you can further assess, like assess for their risk. Like you don't have to call the police immediately or call the ambulance. Like if it's nothing like where they're imminent danger, your answer is most likely gonna be like further assess.
Just looking at the faces and hands, making sure nobody's grabbing to see if anyone had any other questions. So your helping process acronym was the Eat Pie one, and that felt good for you. And
Mhm.
everybody has that one. Does everyone want to write that down, or for her to go over it one more time?
I had a question about not about that though, about the testing center.
Oh yes, thank you, Krista. Yeah, good job.
Where did you take your test and how was the process? And did you get a printout after you finished?
No, I don't give you a printout no more. I was so doggone mad. Um, but I'm back home in Alabama right now. So I went to the Pearson Center. I did Pearson. I don't know if they still did the other one. I remember when like Macy and them were taking it. It was somebody else and they said it was horrible. But I did mine with Pearson, in Hoover. It was quiet as the other people that we're all doing different exams. They're very strict about the book. Don't be looking around, don't move too much, just be in your lane. But it modeled my LMSW experience, so I can't say like if it was a difference because it was the exact same center. But they were very structured, it was very quiet, they were very professional. But no, they don't give you a printout anymore. You can go back into the website and do the printout, but it's not as fun anymore.
So how do you know if you pass or not? I'm sorry.
It still says pass fail on the screen. You just don't get the cute little printout.
So, like when you come out of the room, Carissa, and the ladies, all I don't know is the ladies. Do the ladies, do they know if you passed or not, or you just tell them bye?
No, they don't know if you passed or not.
You're just there, and you're like, I don't even
Yeah.
have nothing with anybody, and you walk out of the room.
Yeah, like my LMSW, after it said passed, I started shaking. The lady thought I failed. So no, they don't know. They don't know if you passed or failed.
Yours
You
is
need
on
to be
the
like,
I'm sorry, Chandrika, go ahead.
you fine, Krista. Do they at least give you like an email? Because when I took mine, I got the paper, but I also got an email.
I think they email you and tell you that it's gonna be uploaded. I think it was like an hour difference from between when I got the pass, like pass my test, and could go on to the Pearson View and get the printout.
They mess with people emotional stability.
But it say pass or fail on it. It'll say pass or fail. Which I
So
mean,
you
after it
have to
said,
wait an hour before you can post it, is what I'm hearing you say.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you don't got that. No,
You
you
don't
don't
get
have
that instant
no.
gratification.
At least in my testing center, because I've seen some other ladies post theirs on like Facebook groups I'm in, but mine did not.
No, what I've been hearing is it's about an hour wait after you take the test before you can even see either via
Mhm.
email or on your account during the ASWB. So you don't get that instant gratification of being able to say, I passed. Chrissy, you had
Right.
another question, babe?
Oh, I was just saying, so when you took your LM, Carissa, and after you finished, it flashed on the screen to tell you if you passed? See, mine didn't do that. I didn't know
Oh,
I had to take a survey. I took mine in Mobile. I had to take
oh,
a survey and then I went out to the thing and they print out a piece of paper and then that's how I found out if I passed.
yeah, it still makes you do like the survey. I don't even remember the question. I said yes, great for everything, and then it
Krista, I
shows.
think you probably got up too fast.
Yeah, because it does the survey, and after the survey, it says pass or fail.
Oh, I just ran out, y'all.
Yeah,
Krista, when you take the test, please stay seated. Her nerves.
I'm type A. My nerves are bad.
Stay seated, okay? Shantrika, go ahead, darling.
I didn't realize I was unmuted. My apologies.
So going back to I think Chandrika put in the chat, Carissa, that it was PSI and it was not safe. But just so everybody knows, PSI is no longer doing the ASWB exams. If that was your experience and or you thought it would be your experience. Carissa, I regrettably, what can't recall right now. I remember seeing the article. I don't know if I just didn't take the time to read it just yet. But what changes are upcoming with the test? Oh,
I
Chandra, you
think.
know the answer? Go
Mhm.
ahead. Whoever knows.
Cedrica, you seem like you know more about it. I know like very slim pickings of it.
Baby, because I've been researching, because I'm supposed to finish sometime between June and July, and the change is supposed to be effective August 2026. So it's going to go from 170 questions to about 120, with between 110 and 120, with 12 of those questions being the pre-test questions, like those other 20s. You still get the 4 hours. You also get 3 choices instead of 4, and then it's going to be 3 topics. Hold on, I got them written down. So give me one moment.
And
So
while
it's
you're
supposed,
one momenting us, is this on the ASWB website or is this?
it is, man. Let me find. I can give you the link. Hold on.
No, I mean, yeah, you can give all of us the link, but I'm just because there's all these other people be saying stuff, but that's a big change to go from 170 to 120.
It's somewhere between 110 and 120, and the 3 topics are going to be ethics, assessment, planning, intervention, and I don't understand my own handwriting. Jesus, fix it. Hold on, let me find the website again. No, let me give you topics. You need the
Had the
links.
rest of you guys heard about the changes? Yeah. Oh, it's just me, your supervisor. Thank you, Shandra. Yeah, it is. Okay.
I don't understand. I got to find my other notes on it because I've been researching. So, as you were, go ahead, Carissa. What are the 3 topics?
Yeah. Do you know? Because I was just wondering, for like future people, like because it's brought down to like 120 questions, what is because usually we can get like 105 out to 170, right? Like, so is that gonna bring down the like you can get 75 out of the 120, right? Or are you still gonna have to get the 90 out the 120? I guess did it say anything in regards to that?
It did not. They're very slow to give us more information. I'm sorry. I am stalking the website, so when
It's
I
okay.
find something, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's why I was like, let me go ahead and take my test and get this out the way.
Yes, I agree because if you think about it, 120 and they trying to throw some out, you're gonna have to have more to pass.
Yeah.
Let me let's just quickly, real quickly. So um the 3 content areas are where, so they had, well, what we can see right now so far, 3 content areas, 3 to 4 option, the multiple choice. That's still, because when at first I was like, so they're still keeping the 3 and 4 option multiple choice. They're going to have 110 with 12 throwout questions. I'm just repeating what Shandrika said, and still the 4 time period. This is August 2026. The test, if you guys can see right here, the test 3 content areas reflect, but they're not saying what they are, though. Are they? That's crazy.
Let's
Chandra,
forget.
you can't read your handwriting because you got it from somewhere.
I did like a 2-hour deep dive a couple of weeks ago.
And this is just a 2-minute deep dive, but I'm not
Mhm.
seeing what the
I'm,
3 content areas are.
I
I'm
wonder, are they
gonna
gonna
say it's
combine?
practice, assessment and practice, and intervention and planning.
Say it again.
I I want to say that it's ethics, assessment and practice, intervention and planning. Because there's a P, then there's a T, and it look like an I and an E. Y'all are right fast. Judge me later.
Will the helping press process then still help? Say it one more time, Darn. Assessment.
Assessment and practice,
Mm-hmm.
intervention, planning, and ethics.
So I'm trying to see what's not there.
Human development
The
sounds
human
like.
development
Development
is
is
not
definitely
there.
not there, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it for that.
What, darling?
I said the human development is not there, and I appreciate them for that.
So assessment and
Practice,
intervention and
planning.
And then the ethics. Okay. And HBSC is not there anymore. It feels like something else is missed. I guess that's it though. So the practice of, you know what I'm gonna say though, it probably is still there. They're just doing it through the lifespan. They're just gonna be intertwining it through the lifespan, and they're just trying to make us feel better about it not being there. But I know, but I think it's going to be intertwined within, just like the ethics questions is intertwined within. So really focusing on assessment and practice and intervention and planning. And I'm going to say on a micro, macro, and meso levels, because they're still going to do community, they're still going to do individual, and they're still going to do the macro. I'm wondering, Corisa, because I'm thinking about macro social work today, because we have Advocacy Day coming up. Were there any macro questions that you recall being in there? Policy, practice?
No, if it was asking about like policy, it would ask like how should you go about like advocating to your company to change the policy or advocating to like or lobbying. Um, so it'd be more how to versus like an actual policy, just because I guess it's so different across the states.
Mm-hmm. This was good. I learned today. I even learned today.
It was really good.
It was. This was really, really good, Corisa. I learned some new stuff, and thank you, Chandrika, for giving the website. The one page, that's all we got. But if you, Chandrika, have more information that you come across, since that feels like you're being hyper focused on it, will you please share it in the group me? I'm not mad about it. Look, this is a community. This is a community, and when we all get information, we are sharing it with each other. So be hyper focused, but just share it with us. Share it with us. Chris, before we go, how's your daddy doing? I love hearing him in the background. Is he all right? Is he doing all right?
Yeah, he being bad. My daddy's 75, and I just went to Cancun over the weekend. My dad ain't rode his motorcycle the whole time I've been home. I leave the country. He telling me out here, he out on his bike riding around. So he being him. He's still living and being him.
You know what? I love that so much for him. I love that so much for him. But tell him to be careful. Oh my goodness.
I do.
So is your Colorado contract up then, or?
No. So I ended the one in Denver and I took like a month off. I'll go back and I'll work with juveniles now. Today I actually got my Colorado license
It's easy, ain't it? Y'all,
Yeah, Colorado is probably the easiest.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
If you are wanting to do Chandrika, you just had to put a little on it, but when I say it's easy, it's not easy. But it's not easy. You're right, Chandra. It is not easy, but they give it to you so quick. Didn't they, Corisa?
Yeah, and it is. I don't know what was going on when you was trying to do it, Chandrika, but if you go on Quizlet, because the jurisprudence is open book. Quizlet, they got the whole answer on there. So if you type in that and go on Quizlet and you copy and paste.
And it's open freaking book. How long did it take you to take the jurisprudence test?
As long as it took me to put copy in 5. Yeah. it's 45.
That one almost put me out a little bit. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. So yeah. How many have you done so far since you get licensed? Just Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're clinically licensed in Alabama and Colorado. Congratulations.
Thank
Are you
you.
thinking of any other?
I probably end up coming back to supervision so I can get those states that need, a little extra year.
That have the yeah. Well, yeah. You are always welcome back with open arms. I would love to have you back. Because even just tonight, if you can see how I'm like, Lord, I even learned from you tonight, and I love that. But what are, besides more licenses, clinically licensed in another state, have you thought about what your plan is for your clinical license?
I want to do macro just because I haven't. I thought about, I'm trying to see if I want to like look into doula work
I
just
love
because
that. Death, birth, what?
it seems interesting. So
Birth or death or both?
I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh yeah, I work with deaf
Oh,
doulas. Yes.
wow.
Yeah. Did you ever do hospice?
No,
Okay. Yeah,
never
deaf
done.
doula is definitely a thing. I have 2 clients who are deaf doulas.
Oh, wow.
I love that you
Oh.
want to do that work. That's beautiful.
So things like that. Probably go register for NPI now and all that other good stuff
So you're thinking about doing some private
on the
on the
side.
side? Good. I love that for you. Good. Good. Oh, go ahead, Shandrika.
So I did some numbers real quick, me and my great calculator here. So for the 150 question, well, 70 question test, out of 150, you got to get between 90 and 107 right to pass, which is about 60 to 71%. So if you take 60 to 71% of 122 question max, that means we're going to have 66 to 78 questions right. And don't y'all judge my heart, okay? I need to pass on the first try.
You will pass. Now you need to. You're going to. It's
We're
already
going
done.
to pass on the first
Yeah.
try. So if my math is math, then 66 to 78 questions correct to pass.
66 to 78?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And that's a little over, you said 60%. Y'all, when she broke it down like that, and y'all top tier social workers, y'all can pass this test. Y'all can pass this test. Shindri, I'm so glad you broke. Because I'm a social worker, not a mathematician. I love that you
But
just did
also,
that.
I had to double check my formula in Chat GPT, and then I went to the math homework app because I'm a social worker for a reason.
But when you broke it down just like that, it's a little over 60%. Y'all, especially those of you who were so obsessed with your getting an A in class, y'all can get a 60-something% on this test. I love that you did that. That is good. That makes it doable, doesn't it? That makes it totally doable. And then now I'm okay with the fact that they took away 50 questions. You don't have to worry about so much. Wow, that's a lot of questions, though. I'm excited for you guys. So if you finish in June and July and it takes the board 30 days or so to approve you, you're definitely still taking it in August, no matter what. You're going to be one of the ones. I can't wait to hear about your experience. Oh, Corisa Davis, LICSW, please give your daddy a hug for me. He didn't have to know it's for me, but I just want you to hug his neck just because. But I honestly am in awe of you, Krista. I know you're next, darling, and we can't wait for you to come back and tell us about your experience. I'm so glad you were able to make it tonight. And y'all, I know, especially those of you who are new to supervision, and Shandrika, Carissa, Lynn, y'all been hearing because y'all, we had 11 since May of 2025. 11 goddesses since May of 2025 passed this test. So I know you guys have heard these stories, and sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want to hear another story of somebody, and kind of get over it. But tonight proves you need to show up for these because some of the stuff Carissa told us in all the 5 years I've been doing this, I had never heard before. I had never heard. So as people are coming back, because they're going to be passing on the first try, because they are a goddess. We got Jacqueline coming back soon too. She just texted me today. Y'all come back and hear these because these perspectives are really, truly helpful, I believe. I think they're really, truly helpful. So Carissa, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank all your friends who are also LCSW. I love that you have all these friends who are LCSWs. I love that energy. Thank all your friends because I know their shared wisdom was also in the room today.
Yeah.
So thank them as well. And y'all, this is our first supervision of 2026, and it was an amazing one.
Oh.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, this is our first one of 2026, so it was amazing. So Carissa, thanks for getting us started because it was really, really good. Really good.
No problem.
All right, you guys, and congratulations. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye, y'all.